Hey the gang, welcome back to Papa's Model Workshop. I'm Papa. This is my workshop. This really is the workshop. I'm not out at the desk for the usual intro, but this is going to be a Papa's Quick Hits video. I think this is number 3. Quick Hits video number 3. So generally, we're probably going to start these quick hit videos right here at the workbench. So anyway, first things first, Happy New Year to all of you. And as usual, these quick hit videos are really going to be centered around very basic things for the beginner. And I've gotten a lot of messages lately from brand new people. So, a lot of you more experienced people might watch these quick hit videos and say, well, Papa, we know all of this. Well, it's really for the beginners. So, but anyway, here's what I'm doing. I am working on the Duesenberg. Okay, I'm just getting started with this. All right, and for those of you who perhaps have not been watching the channel, I elected to go with this Duesenberg probably about a month ago, and I did kind of an unboxing on camera, and it looked as though there were a lot of parts that were missing. Sprue had been cut off and parts were gone. At least that's the way it appeared. And I had said on camera, okay, well, there's a lot of missing parts here, so I'm just going to put this kit aside and use it as a parts kit. And I was surprised that I had a lot of people that contacted me and said, no, it looks like a lot of the parts are rattling around at the bottom of the box, so don't give up on the Duesenberg. So I listened to all of your comments and I circled back around, and I am going to be doing the Duesenberg. And it will, in fact, be my first build for 2026. So here are the instructions for the Duesenberg. Okay, and in these instructions comes a color key. And let me see, I got the color key right down here. Let me see if I can find it down here. All right, you know what? Let me show you this real quick. Okay, hang on. Let me pause the camera. Okay, so right here is the color key for the Duesenberg. I have elected to go with an ivory white color, okay, and a metallic purple red for this build. I showed this in a previous video. Here is the ivory white. I think this is ivory white. I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see. Yeah, I think this is it right here. Okay, the ivory white. All right, this is a Vallejo Model Air. When you're purchasing Vallejo colors for your airbrush, make sure you look for this word, air. All right. Otherwise, the traditional Vallejo colors where it does not say air can be a little bit tricky. Actually, you know what? I'm holding this up here, and this says ivory white on it. All right. So scratch this. This is not the ivory white. This is the ivory white. But you still want to look for this. You want to look for this word air. Okay. And after having explained all of that, this is the color that I went with, and it does not say air, but you can mix this, okay, so that it does flow through the airbrush. Okay, I think the mixture is 1-to-1. I don't want to give this to you improperly. Hang on, let me look it up. Okay, so if you've been following my channel, you know that I actually keep a recipe book of sorts for mixing ratios for different types of paint, different paint brands, and so forth. So just so I don't get this wrong, and I have it all categorized: acrylics, lacquers, top coat, the whole thing. Okay, and the Vallejo standard color is right there. All right, and I use it at a mix ratio of 1-to-1 with Vallejo thinner. Okay, and then I put in 3 drops of flow improver, and I use a 0.8 needle at 25 psi. This is what I have personally found to work with. Just bear with me while I put this back over here. This is what I have personally found to work with these Vallejo colors that do not say air on it, all right? Otherwise, these can be a little bit cranky through the airbrush. The easiest way to go is to stick with a paint that says air on it, like this does. All right, you can pretty much use these right out of the bottle if it says air on it. Now, I do add maybe a drop or two of Flow Improver. I fill the paint cup up about halfway, and then to that, I will add 1 or 2 drops of Flow Improver to this Model Air, and it works very well. Okay, and if you're using the standard Vallejo, I just went over all of that. Okay, so that's an important distinction with Vallejo paints. So that is what this is. This is the Ivory White, and this is the Kaleido Metallic Purple Red, which I shot this on here, and I just really fell in love with this. And I don't know where my Vallejo Purple Red is right now. Here it is, right here. Okay. That is not Vallejo, Kaleido. Kaleido Metallic Purple Red. What a terrific color. And these Kaleido paints mix the same way. They're ready to use, or RTU. And again, I will add maybe a drop of Flow Improver. Again, filling up my airbrush cup about halfway and adding 1 drop, okay? And that just helps prevent tip dry and so forth, okay? So that's the way I'm going. Now, here's what I wanted to go over with you. Hang on. Okay, so as a brand new person in the hobby, what I find to be helpful, and I have gone over this in the past, so this is nothing new. I like to separate all of my parts by color, okay? And, you know, here I mark the individual containers. Everything in this container is going to be a gunmetal color, all right? Everything in this container is going to be a green color, all right? And I actually put the paint right in there. So it makes it, you know, rather easy when I'm up to that particular color to just grab the container, and I've got the paint and the parts all set and ready to go. A lot of times, particularly if you're a beginner, you're anxious to jump right into your build. It's important, I think, to take your time. Now, I spent most of the day yesterday researching colors. Now, I just showed you the color key. I don't know if you can see it, but well, it's right there. I just showed it to you. When you open up your instructions on a brand new kit and you get a color key, you are not obligated to necessarily paint the model the colors that are in the color key. In fact, the box art on this shows this Duesenberg in a pink color, all right? And, you know, you don't have to go with what they have on the box art or with the color key. It's your model. Do it any way you like. And this is what I chose. I just showed you, okay? The Ivory White and the Metallic Purple Red, all right? That was my choice. And how did I arrive at that choice? Well, I took some time. This is something that I actually enjoy doing. I took time to go on the internet. And if you put in 1934 Duesenberg, you will find images. In fact, that's what you should do. Once that comes up, click images up at the top, and you will get a whole lot of images of the 34 Duesenberg in different colors, okay? And then when you're all finished doing that, you can further your search by putting in 34 Duesenberg interior, so you can get a look at the interior. Cross-reference what colors will go with, in my case, a white or off-white, whatever you want to call it, okay? Take a look and see what interior colors would match this style of exterior paint. All right. And, you know, see how you would like to go. Now, I think what I'm going to do is, since the purple, red metallic color is on the fenders and so forth, I think that's how I'm going to go with my interior. All right. In my opinion, I think that keeping your color list streamlined helps keep your flow of color consistent and makes your build a little bit more attractive, instead of going with a dozen colors or so on a single build. Then it becomes, in my opinion now, it becomes a little bit much. It becomes a little too busy, I think. But again, that's my opinion. Doesn't mean it's right or wrong or the only way. I'm just simply giving you my opinion. I stick with 3 or 4, maybe 5 colors at most, to try to keep things all streamlined. So what I'm trying to get to is, even though you open up your kit, you're excited, and you want to jump right into it, take some time, okay? Do your research. I spent quite a lot of time, as I just mentioned, researching different colors. Gunmetal does not appear on the color key for this kit, but this is what I elected to go with for various parts in the engine and so forth. I also elected to go with, what am I trying to get to here? Oh, okay, back to the gunmetal. I elected to go with a gunmetal dashboard. Well, you're gonna have to trust me. The dashboard is in there, but the dashboard on this kit comes off of the chrome tree. Now, in doing my research, I found that a lot of the dashboards for this car actually are in a metallic color. It looks like it's just pure chrome in many instances. Some dashboards appear to be aluminum color. The point is that it is in a metallic color on many of the dashboards for this build. So I elected to go with the gunmetal for the dashboard, and I'm going to go with my Kaleido purple red for the interior. That's going to be the seats and so forth. Okay, and probably the top, all right, this top. So I'm trying to maintain, by the way, here's what it looks like, okay? All right, this is over a black primed spoon, all right? This is another part of what I did yesterday, was I took the time to do test spoons so I could see what the color would look like. These came from the kit in black, so I primered them in black, so I wanted to see what this color would look like on a black primered surface, knowing that it was not going to look like this, okay, because this is on a white primered surface, all right? And you can see there's a little bit of a difference, okay? Not a great deal of difference, but there is a difference. And it isn't really showing up well here on camera, but this is a little bit brighter. It's got a little bit more shine to it, and the black is a little bit muted. It's darker. It doesn't have as much of a shine, which is fine. I don't want my seats to be shiny. So that's what I did yesterday. Okay. And that's the point that I'm trying to get to. It's not a race. Take your time. Plan things out. And for me, I find this to actually be a point where I can be creative, and the creativity to me is actually a lot of fun. So slow down, take your time, set yourself up, and your build will go along much nicer, much easier, and you'll enjoy it a whole lot more than trying to race through and get things done in a mad scramble. Okay, so that, I think, is going to do it for this Papa's Quick Hits. Okay, and I hope everybody had a happy new year, and I'm going to leave you with this thought, and I've shown this also, but this also is, I think, a pretty good idea. Keep track of what you're doing by just jotting down some notes. And for me, I have the colors that I actually chose. So these are not the colors that came with the color key in the kit. The only thing that I have to change is, originally I was going to go with a brown color for the seats. Okay, and I changed my mind as I just showed you, and I'm going to go with that purple red color. So that has to be amended, and that's another reason why this is written in pencil and not pen, so I can erase and make changes. Okay, but this is a good idea to keep notes because I did a 29 Mercedes a little while ago, and I wanted to look up and see what the exterior color of that Mercedes was. And I looked up the notes and it was ivory white. Okay. I even wrote down the numbers so I didn't have any boo-boos on the type of white. Okay. And that is in fact what I went with. Okay. So keeping, notes on things is, I think, a big help for cross-referencing for things later on. All right. So that's going to be it for Papa's Quick Hits number 3. And I said I was going to try to do these in about 10 or 15 minutes. I'm just a little over 15 minutes now. So I am going to wrap this up. So thanks again for tuning in, and I will see you in the next video.